Okay, so here we go. We're going to have an attempt at doing the twirl effect in Photoshop. So we have this image open now, but for this we don't need to use a very large image unless you've got a super duper computer. So we're going to go to image size, and we're going to just say 2500 pixels. On the long side, and that should be big enough to do what we do. Then we will go to view, fit on screen. There we are. So we're here now. So the first thing that we have to do is go to filter. Oh no, we don't, sorry. We're going to go to the layers panel here, and we're going to right click on the layers panel, and we're going to say convert to smart object. Yeah. Now anything that we do within these layers can be edited. You can do it directly just on this layer without creating a smart object, but then you won't be able to go back and alter them later. So the first thing we're going to do is go to filter, down to pixelate, and select meso tint. From this drop down box here, we're going to select medium strokes and click OK. Now it looks like we've destroyed the image completely, but don't worry about that. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go filter, blur, and we're going to use radial blur. We're going to zoom it at about 100%, and we're going to check the zoom box and leave the quality as good and say OK. So then we have this step. We can repeat this step 2 or 3 times. So again, we'll go to filter, and because it was the last filter that we used, it'll be showing up at the top here. So we can select radial blur and do the same again. And this is to taste, so I'm just going to run that again. Radial blur and say OK. Now that's looking good. The next thing we're going to do is go to filter, distort, and twirl. Now I have to do this a couple of times, so I have to change the settings here. So the first time we're going to go into this little box here, and we're going to type -100 and say OK. Now when we come down and we have a look in the layers panel here, you can see the individual layers. So we're going to right click to the right hand side of we're going to left click, sorry, to the right hand side of twirl. We're going to double click on that. That will bring up the blending options, and we're going to click the drop down box and change the blend mode to lighten. Then we'll hit OK. We're going to go back up to filter and just go to the first one, which is twirl. Then we're going to go into this little box, and we're going to put 100, or you can use the slider to get there, and say OK. We do the same again, and we on the twirl layer double click on that little icon and change the blending mode to lighten and hit OK. Now we're getting there, we're getting somewhere. We're going to go onto the original layer here, and we're going to put an adjustment layer on, and this is going to be a curves adjustment. So we'll select the curves adjustment layer, and we're just going to click and drag up and bring the highlights up, and just add a little bit of contrast by dragging the shadows down a little bit, and this is all to be done to taste. We're going to click on the adjustment layer again, and we're going to do a vibrancy layer, and we're going to boost the vibrance and the saturation a little bit, because that's what I want to do. And Then we're going to do the same process again, and we're going to add another adjustment layer, and this one is going to be the colour balance. So with this one we can, if we want to, we can change the tones and the colours in the image. Actually I quite like it the way it is, so I'm just going to leave it the way it is. Then we're going to go back to the original layer, and sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't, but we're going to go back up to filter into the twirl layer again, and we are going to take this down to minus about 150 and hit OK. Now sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't, but in this instance I do like that, so that's how we'll leave that like that. And there we go. And we can also go onto, double click onto this twirl layer, the right hand side, and we can change the blend mode again to lighten. You can try other blend modes, but lighten seems to work quite well in this instance. Okay, thank you, and that's how you create your image.